Delay is by no means denial. The government says they'll continue rebuilding Bay Street despite yesterday's fire. A practice etched in history ends. Water barging is no more. And tonight we have the decommissioning ceremony. And how fast can they go through the streets of the capital? Speed Week is in high gear. We've got an interesting twist to the event. Stay close. The Bahamas Tonight Weekend Edition starts right now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
The government continuing to move ahead with the revitalization of downtown despite another major setback. It's great to have you with us for the weekend edition. Happy holidays, everyone. I'm Clint Watson reporting tonight. Some say it's the price of progress, while others deem it obstacles along the way. Regardless of how you view it, the government has been faced with insurmountable challenges this year alone as it pushed ahead with the full revitalization of downtown and the city of Nassau. Two major fires this year at both ends of downtown have hindered progression to the phased program. Now, yesterday, the destruction of the historic Pompeii Museum and surrounding buildings have further complicated the plans. Despite this, though, government leaders say they will press on.
It's a great loss for our capital city, Nassau.
No secret here that the government's plans to revitalize downtown continues to be hindered by disaster after disaster in the form of fires. National Security Minister Tommy Turnquest telling ZNS News on the scene of the latest blaze to destroy historic buildings downtown that the western strip of Bay Street affected by Friday's fire has an elaborate plan for what would have been Pompeii Square.
With the museum being the centerpiece of that. And so that was all a part of moving towards that in terms of the revitalization of downtown Nassau. You could look at the newly paved road in Nassau here on Bay Street and what the work is going to be done on the side roads and what we're doing in terms of revitalizing our downtown area. This is a great loss in terms of what we're trying to do to revitalize Bay Street.
Every country must have a focal point in terms of its downtown, says Turnquest. So for the city of Nassau, this area would have been the focal point.
Bahamians always go to Miami. What they have done to downtown Miami in terms of revitalization of that with the condominiums and the shops and the restaurants, that's what we'd like to see in our downtown Nassau. And it's moving towards that. This obviously will be a setback towards that, but it won't stop the government from moving forward with our vision for the revitalization of Nassau.
The burnt and mangled structures that remain no doubt are an eyesore to downtown and the beautification efforts. Friday, while addressing members of the Bahamas Hotel Association, Prime Minister Hubert Ingram reaffirmed that the cleanup efforts will be quick.
The government will not permit the burnt-out shell to stand and mar our city landscape for any length of time. We propose to move expeditiously to facilitate the launch of the public-private sector partnership beautification program, which will have as its showpiece the Pompeii Gardens and now a restored Pompeii Museum.
And despite setbacks, the Prime Minister noted that the revitalization of the historic city of Nassau is taking shape.
We've completed the replacement of water mains and sewage pipes along Bay Street, from King Street in the west to Elizabeth Avenue in the heart of the city, and will continue after Christmas going up as far as Paradise Island Bridge. Repaving is underway along Bay Street and corresponding side streets. In the new year, portions of Charlotte Street and Navy Lion Road will be pedestrianised, and Marlborough Street will be made a beautiful place for the creation of a new craft market. New, attractive sidewalks will be installed along Bay Street, and the remainder of the cargo port will be relocated from Bay Street to the new port at Arawa Quay.
The works in the city center are also being complemented by ongoing projects and upgrades to beaches, recreational facilities, and historic sites like the Parliament buildings, courts, and forts. Now, no further details on what would have caused that blaze which destroyed the old straw market, the nearby museum, and several closely knit outlets on Friday. We can tell you that at least 44 vendors have been displaced by the fire. They met with government officials and the newly appointed Straw Market Authority seeking answers. Well, Chairman of the authority, Hubert Chipman, spoke to ZNS News about that meeting.
Myself, along with my board members and Minister Maynard, we met with about 20 people who are concerned scheduled to be open, which we are scheduled to be thinking about opening the market on the 16th of December, which has to be confirmed. And we also told them what qualifications they would need to get into the market. And we discussed the layout of the market. And the biggest challenge that we have right now is the allocation of the stalls within the market. And what we did, we listened to what they had to say. And so we are now back to the drawing board and basically trying to determine how we would allocate the stall in a fair manner.
Now, according to Mr. Chipman, while the market is about ready for its grand opening, there are some measures which must be ironed out prior to the mid-December opening.
The market itself is actually ready to go. What we're presently trying to do right now is to put some furniture in the office. That will start as early as tomorrow. So we have a big challenge ahead of us in trying to get the market ready for December the 16th. We have to employ people. We have to procure furniture. We have to go to tender as far as contracts for waste management, janitorial, ID badges. So there's a number of things that need to be done.
Now, the chairman of the new straw market says vendors are meeting the NIB requirements and other demands to enter the new facility, which will be outfitted with 430 stalls. Well, a big move by the Water and Sewage Corporation to provide improved water supply to thousands of residents in New Providence. Yesterday marked the official end of water barging to the capital after more than 35 years. And a fitting ceremony held for the Titus, which facilitated the transport of the much-needed supply of water over those many years. LaDon Davis was at the decommissioning ceremony and has the details.
Residents in New Providence should no longer have to worry about inadequate supply of quality water due to the increasing reverse osmosis capacity being produced by the Water and Sewerage Corporation. Before the decommissioning of the Titus, at least 35 billion gallons of water were shipped from North Andros to New Providence, and some 1.6 billion gallons of water already for the year. Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham says for nearly 4 decades, water barging in the Bahamas cost the government some $225 million. Mr. Ingraham says water quality concerns coupled with reliability and unpredictable storms forced the government to replace the interim barging scheme to reverse osmosis.
The barging scheme, apart from the stream it placed in the freshwater lens in Andros, no longer adequately meets the need or the water demands of New Providence. Indeed, the system has proven unsatisfactory in recent times for many reasons. With the advent of advanced technologies, desalination is no longer as prohibitively expensive as it used to be.
Captain Alan Angaron has been making water transshipments from Andros to the capital on board the Titus for the past 24 years. And now that Angaron is returning home to personal life in Louisiana, he says assisting the Bahamian people in this way was all worth it.
Thank you to my crew, to all the people who make this possible. I am thrilled to be going home to my wife, daughter, sons, and granddaughter. However, a part of me can never be taken away from the experience I've gotten to see in the islands of the Bahamas, like a local.
With that chapter closed, Minister of State for the Environment Fenton Nemore says he is pleased with the level of progression and improvements in the water supply and sanitation, and praised the government for achieving the greatest level of infrastructural upgrade in the water and sewerage.
Since 2007, this government has spent $29 million and installed some 63 miles of water mains throughout New Providence. In the Family Islands, we've spent some $8 million and installed some 45 miles of water mains. And we now are undergoing a $16.6 million project to install some 17 miles of water main under the New Providence Infrastructural Improvement Program.
It's been almost a decade now since the Water and Sewerage Corporation began reverse osmosis, and now Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham says he feels this is not only the future of water production in the Bahamas, but adequate water for all Bahamians to enjoy. LaDon Davis, ZNS News.
Thank you, LaDon. Well, the Water and Sewage Corporation is also being encouraged to position itself to provide a good supply of water to commercial and business operations, including mega hotel properties. It is believed this would relieve residential consumers of the current commercial rate being imposed. Now, manager of the Water and Sewage outlet at Arawak, Erno Bo, says he is saddened to see the Titus leave the Bahamas because of a strong relationship both parties shared for many years. Bo says while this is the end for water barging, he wants the Bahamian public to understand that it was not easy for Captain Alan Aragon and his crew to operate the vessel 7 days a week.
The times when the Titus were down, it was because of severe mechanical problems or extreme bad weather. Many times, the captain has successfully docked the ship with only half of its engine components working. Half of them, 2 engines, 1 steering unit. When the weather has been rough, the captain still uses expertise and judgment to bring water that we direly needed to the Bahamian people. During these times, many other captains would simply not have sailed, and we would have remained in a crisis situation.
In other news this Saturday, 2 sisters missing from home for about 5 days have been located. Police telling us the sisters, 14-year-old Christina Austin Brown and 12-year-old Shanice Austin Brown, were found in the Johnson Road area around 10 o'clock this morning. Police provided no details on exactly what happened to the sisters or why they were missing from home since Tuesday past. However, we understand they were questioned by authorities. We are still hoping to obtain more information from the police. Just last week, police issued a strong call for parents to take more control of their children. Police also revealed a disturbing trend where too many young females are being discovered in the company of older men. Once again, we are still not clear on circumstances surrounding the discovery of the 2 missing sisters found in the Fox Hill area today. Police are this evening still hoping for more leads into the death of a woman whose body was discovered in eastern New Providence yesterday. There is also still no official identity in the woman found in a rocky area near Blue Key off Yamakura Road. Police say the victim appears to be between the ages of 18 and 25 years old. She sustained injuries to the upper body. She is the second woman found dead here in the capital this week. On Tuesday, 43-year-old Bridget Patrice Saunders was found dead on Cox Way off East Street with lacerations to her neck. Her car was also located nearby. Police continue investigations into both of these matters. And ahead of the weekend edition, LPIA set to get a new addition that's not new to airports worldwide, but will definitely be a first in the region. That story when your news leader comes right back.